beat. All right, my bros. I just finished dissecting Silva Bumpa, actively listening to his music. Gonna learn some gems. Know that shit. Swing. Learn to relax. Don't robotize your beats. If you're in Ableton, the best DAW in the world in existence, you can easily add swing and add it to your drums. This will be the thing that I feel most beginners miss.
Now in his track, Silva Bumpa is going with a 64 bass swing. You're going to be applying it to mostly everything, but what it's really going to affect are going to be sounds that are landing on the 16ths. Apply this swing, you can see it gets shifted to the right. Right, without swing, it sounds like this. Just very fast on beat. The kick into the equation. But then if I remove it, very fast. But now I add it.
The next one is you wanna be adding bass accents, and I keep saying this in every single video I make, but it's that important. It's gonna make you sound more modern, more younger, less wrinkly. Because if I had to tell you one thing that the old people did that we don't do now in the modern age, we know how to elevate a bass line, and we don't just stay with the basic bass just doing its thing. I post a lot on Instagram, and it's funny because certain people will like when I elevate the bass line. Other people will tell me stuff like, back in my day, we only used one bass pattern and we respected it. Learn to chill, dog.
Bass accents will occur when you want to emphasize certain notes in that bass pattern, and where you pick is totally up to you. If we follow Bumpa, he only does one here at the end for the first drop.
Oh, we gon' dance. We gon' have a party.
Now,
to the early morning.
Bass accents can really work wherever you really feel that you need to energy jump to it. So for example, here I'm gonna do it just for fun.
Oh, we gon' dance. We gon' have a party. We gon' rave it to the early morning.
Call and response between bass lines. In the words of Hans Zimmer, there is a question.
There's a question.
There is an answer.
There's an answer.
The key thing is to have a proper bass pattern that's very catchy, but be able to split it so that you have one being the call and then you have one being the response.
The easiest way to think about it is, let's say I want to make something different using this idea. I could grab, let's say this, right? This is one bar here. If I go into a bar, and maybe this could be a different bass playing it here. So it would be something like this. Say this, okay? I have something very groovy. I want the response to be a little more sustained, a little less groovy. Yo, what is up, my dude? Not much. All right, my dude, do you want to...
We're not using cymbals. In fact, for the track that I used for the reference for this video, he uses a shaker.
So how...
We gon' have a party. We gon' rave it to the...
The other cool thing he does with his clap is he incorporates it more into the beat. Instead of just having the clap hit on the 2 and 4, he decides to add a bit of color to the clap's life. And he has it hit elsewhere to add a lot of nice groove to the track.
Look at that.
The Hail Mary top loop. And what the Hail Mary top loop is, pretty much you have a drum beat going and you're like, yeah, there's something missing. And I just cannot figure it out. Well, the Hail Mary top loop is when you grab a top loop from a 6 sample pack.
It adds so much.
And you pray to God.
It's going to add a lot of flavor, but I think the key thing is you don't have to be precise or perfect.
You pray to Gandhi. Sometimes you just shoot and you land. Effects he uses in the track really bring a lot of life into it. For example, he has the Dua Lipa disco sound.
That adds so much, just having that. And also adding little effects like this, little ARP sound. Just adds a lot.
He also has these really cool, like glitchy-esque sounds.
Already know the Motorola hits.
In the background. So there's always something going on supporting the main beat, but it doesn't really take away from it. All the little puddles are trying to be like the lake, not using ear candy, not having crowded tracks. But sometimes that's what you need. And I feel effect sounds are really good for that kind of stuff. I'll have it on the 1. Use classic sounds, don't overcomplicate it. Every single sound in this track, which has about 3,656,000 plays just on Spotify alone. There's really no revolutionary sounds in there, no cutting edge sounds. It's all classic sounds.
Which Ableton's gonna have a lot of really cool presets for that. Stack it. The katama saw.
If you feel like sound design is becoming a hindrance, it's making you less, it's not really adding, consider using sounds that have been used before. Be generic.
And if we were to remake it one more time, let's say here, all you really have to go is go digital, F-T add seconds, put it here, add a bit of detunement, and you're pretty much done. For example, this organ, famous organ sound, which you can find a one shot online. I've chosen to remake it again just to, one, learn how it was initially made, but two, to give people the option to be able to use it as well if they choose to.
Octave jumps on the bass lines, right? You want to increase the energy of the song, do some octave jumps. He does that a lot.
This pattern didn't have any octave jumps. This is how it would sound. But now, if I grab the D here and go up an octave, right, we get more of that energy at the beginning. It also sounds more exciting. This is something Riordan does as well. He will execute a lot of these octave jumps to add variation or to just spice up the bass loop here. The thing with producing is you can do a lot, and the skill also comes from refraining yourself from doing stuff that isn't necessary.
Just because you have a bass pattern doesn't mean that you can't modify it and have variations to it.
So this is the first bass pattern in the song. We get the nice little donk bass on the accent as we saw. The second variation to the bass pattern includes this pitched down sound where we omit part of the bass here. So we get... And finally, the third pattern we get where he strips back the bass even further, right? Going from what we had over here, full, to just 3 notes. Now we get this.
Alright fam, so hopefully this video enlightens you. You learn a couple of things. If you guys enjoyed any of the sounds in this video, I'm going to be putting some of them up on my Patreon. But if you want a pack that allows you to make stuff like this effortlessly, make sure to check out Omen. My contribution to the UKG world, just like I dissected the Silva Bumpa, I also looked at other individuals, learned from them, made sounds inspired by them to make something for you guys that you can have fun with. And with that being said, you guys take care. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn how to make any of these sounds a little further, well, you can watch this one on how to make the actual bass lines in this style, so that you too could be a bumper, or at least make a song that will allow you to afford a bump. You guys have a good rest of your day.